guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me for this video. As you can see from the title, we'll be reviewing the new You Are the Pro LA Girl eyeshadow palettes, these two bad boys right here. So if you want to see what my thoughts are on both of these, I will be doing a look on each eye, then please keep on watching. So I am planning to do this look on this eye, and this palette on this eye and this palette on this eye, giving you a little bit of an idea of what I think of them, if they're worth it, all of that jazz. So these products were kindly gifted to me by a PR company. However, this video isn't sponsored, nothing in any way, shape or form. This was gifted in the form of PR, so there's no, I know I have to clear this up for law reasons and the government. Anywho, so these palettes are available on beautybay.com, which is amazing. They both retail for £15 each, which, to be honest, for 16 shades for £15 is pretty good. So we have the Creative Skill, which is this bad boy right here, and we have the Master Skill. So this one's more of a neutral warm tone. This is a little bit more of a pop of colour, greens, blues, orange, a little bit like that. So yeah, I'm not too sure what I'm planning on creating as of yet, but I'm going to try and use as many colours as possible for each eye. This palette, the first palette that we're going to go through in a moment, I will come back to you afterwards and give you my final thoughts. It's going to look weird because I'll have two different eyeshadow looks on, but please bear with me. So this is the Creative Skill palette. This one did actually smash on me, so I have had to fix it. So hopefully it is, I've had to press this one right here. Oh, this is the Creative Skill palette. So it says, bring your beauty creative skills and start blending with the new Pro Artistry eyeshadow palette. A bold and colourful 16 stunning silky smooth colour eyeshadows in bold mattes and vibrant shimmers, including both cool and warm tones to create endless and versatile artistry and everyday looks. Be the artist and bring colour and creativity to life. Hashtag You Are the Pro. So what I'm so far excited about with this palette is the fact that there is warm and cool tones in the palette. So if you are a bit more, want to be a bit more adventurous and try out some cool tones, I tend to go for more warmer tones. However, why not a cool tone every now and then? But yeah, you can get this from both palettes. I am going to go in and just quickly tell you about this palette right here. So this palette is stunning. I love the pan size. I think the pan size is amazing. So this is the Master Skill palette. So this is create neutral, smoky and soft glam looks with 16 stunning silky smooth colour eyeshadows in bold mattes and vibrant shimmers, including both cool and warm tones, again to create any look. So this is the sort of palette that you're going to go for. I think out of the two, this one will probably be more of the popular one, but they're so gorgeous. Like, they really are absolutely stunning palettes. I was so excited when I got them in the mail. I was like, oh my god. I did swatch them, and I will say they swatched powerfully, so I'm really excited for that. Any questions about them, please feel free to just drop them in the comment section. I'm going to be showing you an up-close voiceover for each palette because I know you guys prefer that rather than me just going, hey, I'm doing this and hey, I'm doing that. I'm going to give you a voiceover, etc, etc, etc. So the first palette we're going to use is the Creative palette. I'm going to now go in and show you the look that I create. Alright peeps, so we're going to take these three colours. I'm going to take this orange and start to just pack this on. This was actually quite easy to pack on and blend. However, it wasn't the most pigmented. I'm just going to pack on using tape. You could just go really messily. Then I'm going to take that sort of brownie shade. Again, this wasn't super duper pigmented, but it blended really nicely. I had to then deepen it up using this sort of like a brownie black. It wasn't black. It looks black in the pan, but it's not. But this again was a nice shade. Then I'm going to take this deep blue. Oh my god, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. It packed on so well. Then I'm going to take this sort of lighter blue and pack on in the inner parts. So I took the darker blue in the inner corners and the outer corner, and I took this blue in the middle just to create a halo. And then to really make that halo look, I went with this icy white shimmer, which was a little bit chunky and a little bit hard to pack on, but it was fine. Again, taking that original orange and then taking this sort of shimmery shade in the inner corner, and this is this bluish orangey, I don't know what to call it, look. Done. So now that eye is done, we are now going to go into this palette right here, and I will show you the look on this eye. Right, so here we go again. So, taking these 3 pink shades, again, I found the mattes, they're okay, they just take ages to build up. Excuse my hairy brow, by the way. Yeah, just keep building. I hate doing this eye on, like, eyeshadow in this eye because I hate the look of this eye. Like, it's just so different to my other eye. Anyway, yeah, so just taking these 3 colours and just building them. I couldn't get a lot of depth, but again, it worked with this look, so I'm not complaining. I'm then going to take these, was it 3? Oh, these 3 shimmers. These shimmers are to die for. Probably the best shimmers I've ever come across. I didn't even wet my brush, nothing like that. They are insane. Look at that metallic. Oh, love it. Then I'm going to take the original pink shade underneath my lower lash line and add that into my inner corner, and this is the finished look. I'm sorry I talk so much. Okay, so I'm back. I have done the 2 eyeshadow looks that we have here, you have just seen. Now, I have some thoughts. I have some good thoughts and I have some bad thoughts also, which isn't a bad thing. Now, first of all, onto this palette right here, the Creative palette. The shimmers are wonderful. The shimmers are very, very, very wonderful. I was very highly impressed by these 2 shimmers right here, the blues. They came out insanely well. They picked up on any type of brush, which is very hard to come by with shimmers. Shimmers, for example, like in the Morphe palettes or Anastasia shimmers, they can only pick up on certain brushes or if they're spritzed. However, these can be picked up on blending brushes, on flat brushes, shader brushes, eyeliner brushes, absolutely anything, which is amazing because then they're so versatile. You don't need to have a particular brush to pick up a particular shadow. The only shadow that I wasn't hugely a fan of was this one right here, in the shade Expressive. It's lovely, however it's just a bit chunky for me, so if I want to pack it on for areas like that just to add that spotlight halo vibe, they can get a little bit chunky, which isn't a bad thing, but then it's one of those shades that I think might be hard to formulate. Onto the mattes. The mattes I was sort of okay with. They're not my favourite. They're definitely drugstore mattes. They definitely have a few issues. There are no blending issues or patchy issues, which is great. However, the pigmentation is very buildable, which of course I like, but you can't build it in intensity wise, like pigment wise. I know people can like, but how can you blend it then? Like, you can sort of pack it on and blend really, really nicely. You can get colour. However, if you want that intense pigment, you're more or less likely not going to get it from palettes like this. But again, that's not an issue. They are very, very nice. I do highly like them. Am I going to probably use this again? Yes, definitely. The orange was really, really nice. It's sort of more of a burnt orange, which works great, but they're not insanely pigmented. However, they are buildable, which is lovely. I had no blending issues. This took me very easy, quickly to blend. I didn't have any time management issues, anything like that. The browns are not my favourite, I'll be honest. They're very much like drugstore browns, which is not a bad thing. However, they're not crazy pigmented like I have said about this whole palette, and they just don't perform the best. I did have to go in with this sort of black shade. Sorry, the shimmer from that shade has gone into that one. It's not just multi-reflex and all that. This is more of a charcoal brown, dark, not really a black, it's like an off black browny charcoal colour. It's nice. It's pigmented compared to the browns. Sorry if you can hear the banging, that's my neighbours upstairs. However, it's not my favourite colour. It does definitely add definition and depth, which is lovely. However, sometimes if I want more of an intense look, I feel as if I wanted to go with a brown smoky eye and then add a green, I'd probably just have to use this colour and then blend it out with maybe a transition shade like one of these two, just because these browns are not my favourite. They are definitely darker in the pan than they swatch. These swatch to be more lighter, warmy browns rather than sort of cool tone brown. So I don't know, but overall I do really, really like this palette. The shimmers are ones that I remember, and that is probably why I pick up the palette again. But of course, everything is a learning curve, and palettes and whatnot. I'd love to see more palettes. I'd love to see a colourful one. I'd love to see more of a, like, I don't know, like, I do think the formula is nice. However, the mattes are just not my favourite kind of mattes. They're not terrible, I had no issues whatsoever. However, I just feel they're not my favourite type of mattes. Next, onto this little palette guy right here, the Master palette. Now, I thought with this palette I was really excited for it, because once when I swatched the shades on my hands, obviously I know people are going to say, and this is why I don't do swatches, because swatches are so misleading. And for these ones, definitely, these on my hands were so rich, so buttery and so creamy. They all are insanely buttery, insanely creamy, love it. However, they just don't pack on as nicely on the eyes. They're very nice. It's very pink, very mauvey, like Anastasia modern renaissance palette vibes, which I love. But the mattes are not my favourite. I would love this to be a darker brown. This is very much a warm chocolatey brown, your average brown, but it's for some reason on here I want it to be my nail colour, but it's not my nail colour. I need this to be a little bit more darker for depth. That's what I think that both of the palettes needed, was a little bit of depth. But it's lovely. The shimmers are insanely gorgeous. Like, I went in with as many shimmers as possible. The shimmers are what LA Girl have formulated so correctly. They are better than Morphe shadows. They're better than Anastasia Beverly Hills shimmers. These are some powerful shimmers to play with. They're not chunky, other than the one that I showed you in the other palette. They don't pack on weirdly. You don't need to spritz them. They are just so insanely pigmented and are gorgeous. Like, they make gorgeous inner corner shimmers. They make gorgeous highlighters. They're just such great shimmers. Like, the shimmers in this palette are definitely something. If someone was to ask me, Han, what is your favourite type of shimmer? This is something that I want to see more on the market. If an affordable brand for £15 that can perform this, then why can't the bigger brands? This is definitely a palette I would recommend to you guys, especially out of the two, probably this one. But if you like your blues and your greens, maybe the creative palette. But they are both so good. The mattes are just a little bit underachieving, but sometimes that's nice, because sometimes you can just make do with the shimmers. A lot of eyeshadow palettes these days have well performing mattes, but not great performing shimmers. But these have both. Like, the mattes are not terrible, they're just not insanely pigmented compared to your typical Morphe or your typical Anastasia or Huda. They are definitely something you have to build on, but again, some people prefer that, so that is absolutely amazing. But yeah, would I recommend these? Definitely. I'm very, very impressed with them. I do really, really like these. I'm happy I've grabbed them. Love them very much. I'm really appreciative that they've been able to send over to me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If it was helpful in any way, please leave it in the comments. Please leave it in the comments what other palettes you'd love me to review, test review. I'm rushing because my camera's gonna die. But yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.